Hi there, my name is Kyle Loafman. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're talking about the top 5 things that you need to improve your tuba playing. So let's kick it with number 5, which is maintenance. And this is pretty simple. You don't need to know a lot about maintenance besides just cleaning and oiling your valves, cleaning and oiling your slides, and cleaning your mouthpiece. If you know those 3 things, it will improve your quality of life on your instrument so much. A common thing I've seen from teaching middle schools and high schools and just being at a lot of different schools is you'll notice a lot of instruments that you borrow from a school are often not great. And part of that is just because the previous people who used that horn didn't take care of that instrument as well as they should have. So you can start that line, you can break that chain and start taking care of your horn now so that the next person has a great experience and they'll continue taking great care of that horn so that everyone will have a much better experience playing the horn. Because if your horn isn't properly maintained, it becomes almost impossible sometimes to play the horn easily. Anyways, moving on to number 4, we have technology. Just using the tools of the trade. Tuner, metronome, and recording devices are the 3 things that everyone should be using on a regular basis. With the tuner, focus more on the tone generation part. Focus slightly less on the part that just says, you're sharp or you're flat. Because that's great. It's great for immediate feedback, but for long term of being able to play in tune with ensembles, it's not quite as great. Because no matter how in tune you are, if you're not playing with the same intonation as the ensemble you're playing with, you're out of tune. That's it. So take time to listen to pitches and adjust to pitches so that when you play with an ensemble where everyone else is super sharp, you can play super sharp with them. And even though, yes, we don't want to play like that, but it sounds good with the ensemble. It doesn't sound like one tuba is super, super flat. And then metronome, great for keeping a steady pulse. As one of the bass instruments of the band, it's very important for us to be able to keep a steady beat. And metronomes are the best tool for doing this. I would say vary how you use the metronome. Don't just turn it on the same subdivision, the same settings. Every so often, get rid of a beat or two. So it plays like 1 or 2 beats per measure. And then lastly, technology. Recording devices are great for being able to hear and see your playing like you're an audience member. Because it's a whole different world of playing when you're behind the tuba and when you're in front. So take time to record yourself, not just in audio, but video too, so you can see little things. I know I notice things every once in a while for myself when I record myself. So take time to record yourself and you will improve. All right, moving on to number 3, which is listening to music. The more music we listen to, the wider palette we have up here. So it's very important to listen to as much music as you can so you can create better sounds. So you have a clear picture up here. Because no matter how much technique building you do to clear the proverbial window into whatever art you want to make, if that canvas is blank, if that space behind that window is blank, it's just not going to sound interesting. So listen to things, try to replicate things, and listen. Moving on to number 2, which is scales. And I know a lot of you probably don't want to hear this, but learn your scales. Scales are so important not only for being able to sight read better, but we can use scales for every single fundamental skill out there. Range building, articulation studies, interval studies, you name it, we can do it. Airflow studies, we can do it all with scales. They're great. So learn your scales. I would say at least learn your major, minor, and chromatic scales, if not also whole tone scales. and get those ingrained in your head. It's pretty important. Alright? So before we get to the number one most important thing for your tuba playing, I have a few honorable mentions. First, we have buzzing. Buzzing is great. It's great for centering the pitch and doing ear training work. But the downsides to buzzing is that it can be more intense, and at first especially can be a harder exercise to get into. It's definitely worthwhile, but it can be harder to get into, and once you get into it, I would only recommend doing it in short bursts, like maybe max 5 minutes per day. Then the next honorable mention is etudes. Play lots of etudes. Don't just focus on one single etude book, because that can be more of a detriment to your playing if you focus on one single articulation style or one style of playing. So at least try to work with 2 to 4 different etude books at the same time. Or if you have to go with one, make sure it's one that has a mixture of different styles. Arbin is a good one, and another one that I think is a pretty good balance of technical and lyrical playing is a Blazevich, kind of, although it does have more of an emphasis on technical playing. And the last honorable mention I want to mention is work and learn from other people. Work with other people, that's what I mean. Take private lessons, either in person or online. Learn from your band director. Play for your band director one-on-one and get some feedback from them. So they have at least a music education degree, so they can help you out a lot. Then also learn and play with your fellow bandmates. This is not only is this fun to do, playing duets and stuff, chamber stuff with your bandmates, but you can get some good feedback from people you play with. And the last one is just play for your friends and family outside of band. Because even though they might not be able to tell you, like, oh, you need to adjust your embouchure like this and this, blah, 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 or you need to be raise your pitch for this one note, they can still give you words of validation and good opinions from people who aren't necessarily affiliated with band. So that's important as well. So finally, the moment everyone's been waiting for, the number one most important thing for your tuba playing is airflow. Knowing how to move your air is the difference between playing with a mediocre, muddy tuba sound and playing with the super awesome professional tuba sound. It's all about airflow. Just knowing to take deep breaths and keep your air moving constantly. Those are the 2 biggest pieces of advice I have for airflow. Alright, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it a lot. If you liked the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more. Also, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. Did you find this informative? Do you have different opinions? What are your top 5 things for improving tuba playing? I'd be curious to know. There's so many different opinions out there. Most are pretty valid, but most are pretty valid. So let me know down below. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. Also, I'm opening up my studio to online students, and right now I have 5 slots available, so if you're interested in learning more from me, please follow the link down below in the description, and we'll have a one-on-one chat to discuss whether or not this would be a good option for you. So, anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye.